Today we are talking to Anthony Pompliano of Morgan Creek Digital. We're talking about success, what it takes to succeed in the crypto sphere, and the crypto factor. Anthony, thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
So Anthony, I'd like to start this like one of my favorite questions I've ever heard from Patrick Bet-David of Valuetainment, and that is, if I met you in high school, what would you be like? Like before what you are doing now?
I was just a kid having fun. I was just hanging out with my friends, playing sports, probably didn't enjoy school too much, and like every other kid, was trying to do as little of the things I probably should have been doing and as much of the things I shouldn't have been doing.
Looks like it worked out in the end, though.
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
So what happened? What drove you to get where you are? What was the driving factor behind who Pomp is today? Because everyone calls you Pomp. You're a permabull. You're in Bitcoin. You have one of the best reputations of Mr. Nice Guy and permabull of Bitcoin. What drove that?
Yeah, look, I think, I've been building and investing in technology companies for a long time. And when I saw a lot of what was going on, I kind of slowly started to pay more attention, took the time to get educated, really understand some of the nuances of what's going on here. And I've, throughout my career, always been somebody who is less likely to just follow what everyone else is doing and kind of think for myself. So once I believe in something, all the kind of noise doesn't really distract me. And so I think that's where you see a lot of, kind of the thoughts that I share and ideas that we're pursuing at Morgan Creek Digital.
Right. And you also send a newsletter to institutional investors on a daily basis. So you're doing your part. Do you see traction? Do you see people? I think I saw a tweet from you today saying the institutional investors not coming. They're already here. Can you elaborate on this a little bit? Hey, Paul here. Let me jump in real quick. If you're getting value so far from watching this video, then please consider subscribing down below and hitting that bell notification button. It will help me and you get to watch more videos like this one. Thank you, and let's jump back into the video.
Yeah, so this morning we announced a $40 million venture capital fund anchored by 2 public pensions. We've got a university endowment, a hospital system, an insurance company, private foundation, etc., as investors in that fund. And I think that it is, it's a $40 million fund, right? So it's not going to go and kind of shock the world in size. But this is a baby toe dip into an asset class that previously was thought kind of off limits to a lot of those institutions. And so we're continuing to kind of push forward, get more institutions on board. And I hope to see many, many more of them in the future.
A lot of people are waiting for institutional money. I'm going to go back to your success in a second, then go back to cryptocurrency. But one quick question. A lot of people are waiting for institutional investors in order for the price to do another bullish run, let's say. But we didn't have them before unless they were in the background. Do we really need this, or is it more of a mindset thing until we realize we can do it with or without them? Or
look, we don't necessarily need them, but they don't hurt, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I think about it. Obviously, retail can push the price up pretty high, like we saw in 2017. But again, the institutional investors aren't so worried about what the liquid crypto prices are, right? So what's the price of Bitcoin today? They're much more kind of long-term investors. They want to invest in infrastructure. They want to own equity in businesses. And so that's what we're doing with them. And then obviously a lot of that work will improve the likelihood that Bitcoin's price will appreciate over time.
And it's more than just price. It's more adoption. It's more things going and progressing and developing. I think that's what people are missing. When you have money behind you, you get to make things go forward a lot faster and a lot stronger. I want to go a little bit to you, Anthony, back to your success. Before I go on, what does success mean to you?
Just being happy. I think a lot of people put kind of artificial targets or goals, or, status, etc. on success. I don't really care about any of that stuff. I think it really just comes down to, if I wake up every day, I'm happy, then I'm winning in a way that many, many people wish they could.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Do you think anyone can be successful in life, whether it's being happy and also maybe financially as well?
Of course, right? I mean, I think that, this idea that, money doesn't buy happiness, I've always laughed at, in the sense of, not having money can make it harder to be happy for some people. And then there's plenty of people who are rich and are happy, right? So there's kind of outliers for every situation. The big takeaway for me throughout my life has just been, happiness is a mindset. And so whether you have nothing or you have a lot, the ability to say to yourself, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to make sure that I'm focused on making myself happy, has always worked out pretty well.
Okay, so you are now Anthony Pompliano. You are of Morgan Creek Digital. You have the daily news letter to institutional investors. You have a Twitter following. You have a social following. You're everywhere. If you could give advice 10 years ago to your younger self, what would that advice be?
No fear.
No fear.
I think, look, no matter who somebody is, they always kind of tiptoe into things, right? It's, oh, should I do this? Am I going to be successful at it? Am I not? Over time, I've just learned that, it's really, really easy to overcome those failures, and you surprise yourself when you try things. And so I think that, especially when you're younger, it's very easy to kind of fall into, oh, what am I supposed to do? What do people want me to do? That type of stuff. But the people who just say, look, I don't care what any of you think. I don't care if I try something and I fail. I'm just going to go do this. They tend to kind of win in the long run. And so that, that's something that I wish I had realized earlier in life, but I'm still pretty young and unfortunate that I understand it now.
Do you think failure is a part of success, and how do you handle failure?
Yeah, there's plenty of people who, didn't fail and were successful. So I don't think, it's a requirement. But I do think that, you don't get everything right the first time. And so you're likely to fail along the way, at some things. Some things will be small, some things will be big. It's less to do about did you fail or did you not fail, and it's more to do with just, what was the mindset going into it, right? I joke all the time, and I tell people, especially founders, look, you guys didn't fail at that. You just realized that didn't work, right? So go try something else. And I do think that while somewhat cliche, has had a lot of truth in it, and it's helped me a lot.
So what was one of your biggest failures, or one of those things that it didn't work, as you said a little bit earlier on, and how did you handle that?
Yeah. Look, one thing that I didn't have, that much control over, which almost made it worse. I was in college, had been deployed overseas, came back and was playing football at Bucknell University, and I blew out my knee. Right. So it's one of these things where, you're kind of gearing up, you're all excited. You're going to have this big role on a team. Everyone's counting on you. And then all of a sudden you blow out your knee, and you can't even walk. Right.
Yeah.
And you just go through these emotions of, why is this happening to me? This is, ridiculous, all that kind of stuff. And what you realize is, again, out of your control. Right. And so it happened. It's what are you going to do about it now? So I think that, having those types of lessons along the way actually end up making it much, much more, positive in the end.
Yeah, it's funny. Derek Jones, I interviewed him on the Crypto Factor Part 1. He went through the same thing. He was in sports and everything. And I actually had the same thing through cancer as well. Let me ask you, what do you think it actually takes to succeed? Is there a mindset? Is there a sort of something that keeps you going? You personally?
No, I think it's just more of, I do the things I want to do every day, which make me happy. And, frankly, when you take that approach, there's no kind of finish line, right? It's the ability to, today, this is what I want to do. And I think there is a lot of benefit to taking that approach and not having such kind of stringent standards or saying, I have to do this one thing. Because once you get there, that thing is kind of over, right? And you got to go find some other motivation. For me, it's just, I just want to wake up and do what I want to do every day.
Did you have any mentors in your life?
I have too many to count. Everything from my parents to my business partners to random people throughout my life. There's kind of a different person for every aspect, sometimes two or three. And so I'm one of these people who doesn't believe in necessarily reinventing the wheel. Right? If someone's been there, done that, learned the lessons, I'd love for them just to tell me the lessons and move on from there.
Right. Okay. And do you have any daily habits and morning rituals?
Yeah. So every day I wake up at 4:45, 5 a.m., go work out, then hit the office, usually there about 6:15. And every day I write that damn newsletter and I send it to the institutions. And it's really just a way for me to organize my thoughts, clear my head, put down some ideas on paper. And it really is just kind of calming for me, frankly. Puts me in a mindset to kind of attack the day.
What kind of workout do you do, by the way?
All kinds of stuff. I'm one of these people who I've tricked myself into, if I only go to the gym for 30 minutes, but I go and go very quickly with no rest. I somehow think that's easier or better than doing anything else.
Okay. So mentors are important. You have daily habits and morning rituals. How does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah. So, once I get to the office, I write that. Usually I spend majority of the day on phone calls or in meetings. I am, one of the things I probably don't do as good of a job of that I wish I did was more time to just think. I usually, kind of back to back every 30 minutes throughout the day. And then once I leave the office, that's really when I have time to think and kind of organize my thoughts again. So, look, it is, it's kind of fast paced and very packed in, but it allows us to get a lot done and kind of iterate at a speed that maybe some other firms can't do.
So if somebody wanted to follow you in your shoes, I recognize consistency in your daily routine, taking care of yourself so you can keep your mind open. What other things would you advise them to do?
Just don't quit.
Don't quit.
Frankly, I think it's the number one thing that I see from people. People start doing something. They actually get a little bit of traction or success, and then they kind of give up, right? It's not going fast enough. It's not, going as well as they wanted it to go. So it's going well, it's just not going as well. And I usually tell those folks, look, a lot of the best things in life take a lot of time to build. And so you just need to be persistent, kind of this idea of just show up every day, right? And if you show up every day, that's half the battle, and the rest will kind of take care of itself.
Okay, so let's go back to cryptocurrency. How did you actually get involved? I know we touched on it earlier, but maybe expand a little bit so I can ask you a few questions on there.
Yep, started mining in I think 2016, and eventually ended up building about 4 mining facilities. My partner Jason Williams and I, and once you kind of go down the rabbit hole, there's no coming back.
Do you think mining is easy for people to do?
It definitely wasn't easy for us. We knew very, very little. We had a couple of people, a guy named JP Barrick and others who helped us out and kind of really taught us a lot of stuff. So without them, we wouldn't have kind of figured it out, I don't think.
Got you. So do you think that anybody can get involved in cryptocurrencies and succeed? And by that, I mean trading, I mean mining, different aspects of the crypto sphere, if you will.
Yeah, look, people can teach themselves anything, right? I think if you are dedicated to something, you can figure it out. and crypto's no different.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fast question. Technical analysis or fundamentals?
I don't trade, so I just say neither.
Okay, well, good answer. Tried to catch you off guard on that one.
That's okay.
So where do you think the market is going? Or when I say market, don't mean price. I mean, where do you think cryptocurrencies are going? Where is it heading?
Yeah, look, the two kind of core theses that I've had since the very first day I said I want to go do this is every stock, bond, currency, and commodity will be digitized in the future, and that's going to lay the foundation for an automated world. And the second is that Bitcoin is better money. I really think that those two things will allow us to continue to build out this industry. And if we, realize half the potential of both of those things, it's going to be pretty big. But I tend to think that we've got a shot at kind of exceeding expectations.
Right. And where do you think our attention should be focused right now?
Just building. The price is all a distraction. It really comes down to the best entrepreneurs getting really solid, high value teams and putting together valuable products and services and getting customers. If we can focus on building like that, I think that there's a really, really big opportunity in front of us.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you two more questions because I know your time is limited. These questions are obviously all this interview for our viewers is for the Crypto Factor Part 2, which you are involved in. They can check out Part 1 in the description below, and then I can possibly have you back so we can do this again once the other book is out. Is that okay with you, Anthony? Yes?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So what characteristic do people know you by? What is the one characteristic that your loved ones know you by? And then what about the people that don't like you know you by?
So those closest to me, I think, would just say, if they call, I answer, right? Mm-hmm. If they need help, I help. And it's just something that, myself, all of my brothers, we were just raised that way by our parents. And so something that we're proud of. The people who probably don't like me, they probably think that, my partner and I are crazy, and think that we don't know what we're doing. We're dumb. And I tell every single person that asks me about kind of a lot of the kind of controversies and the debates on Twitter and stuff like that is, look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I actually think those people are really important, right? Mm-hmm. And we should encourage those people to have dissenting opinions to our own. I want to hear them, right? But that doesn't mean that I'm going to change my mind, right? If they present a compelling argument, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I believe what I believe. I put my ideas out there. We go and we, act on them. We've got more skin in the game than most people. And we'll see kind of what the record shows at the end of all this.
So how many brothers do you have? Side question.
4.
4 brothers. So Italian family.
I've got 4 younger brothers who are all smarter and cooler than me.
And they're all involved in crypto?
No, they, 1 or 2 of them, I think, is they kind of pay attention, but they all have their own careers and kind of focus on other stuff.
Awesome. Are they all into? Do they all have the same presence on Twitter or anything like that, or no?
They like me think that the whole popularity on Twitter is pretty outrageous, and we're all still trying to figure out how this happened. But I'll take it while I got it.
I think it's because you were being yourself and you were being very real, Pomp. From what I noticed. Last question.
I'm having fun.
Last question. If there was one question you wish people asked you, what would that be?
So I'll kind of sidestep it and say that it's not so much what's a question that I wish they asked me, as much as I think it's a question that doesn't get asked enough by people in conversation. It's something I try to ask it's every single person that we talk with. It's just, how can I help? right? I think a lot of times people go into conversations and it's, what can I get out of this conversation? What can I get out of this person? For me, even when teams are pitching us and we know we're not going to invest, right? It's still, what can we do to help you, right? And capital is one piece of that. But there may be other things, right? Maybe we can introduce them to somebody, or maybe they're looking to hire somebody, or maybe they just need a piece of advice. And so I think that kind of this idea of giving more than you take in a relationship or a conversation is kind of a lost art.
Thank you. So Anthony Pompliano, I'm going to leave all the links where you can reach him down in the description below. Go check out his Twitter page. There's a reason why he is so popular. Anthony, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again.
And thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. And until next time, keep succeeding.